Welcome everyone to another episode of Elbows Type Podcast. It's your hosts Travis and John. John, how are you doing today?
I'm exhausted. How are you doing?
I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
John and I have been, our wives have been going to town in our yards. They are basically professional landscapers and landscape what's the word I'm looking for?
Well, I mean, right now, Lowe's is my best friend. Like, I wish I had stock in that company with the money we've dumped in it for the first hot weekend in the last 6 months, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, it's beautiful outside though right now. But yeah, life has been super busy. I got injured, so I can't help too much out in the yard. Like I tried digging a hole yesterday, and then just the process of digging the hole, I hurt my injury.
I mean, that's quite convenient. It's
Yeah.
like every time somebody would move and they'd be like, hey, man, can you come help me move? I'd always have like a rolled ankle or something.
Yeah, you're like, actually, I can't.
Even my own house, we moved it twice. I was like, no, I can't. I rolled my ankle.
That's funny. Yeah, no, I got injured on Tuesday of this last week. If you guys are listening to this today, it comes out. It's a Monday. So last Tuesday, and I'll probably put the moment it happened as B-roll over what I'm about to say. But I was rolling with Cody, our brown belt school owner, and I don't remember how exact. I'll have to rewatch the video. So, but long story short, he was on putting his chest pressure on my left shoulder. I was laying on my right shoulder. And we both moved at the same time, which caused like all the pressure to basically. I felt some popping in my chest, and now I can't plank and lift up my arms. I have a hard time sitting up. It's weird because it's my chest. It's not my abs, and so I have like pain in my clavicle and outside of my shoulder. My sternum's a little tender. My right trap. Behind my right trap is tender, and it's been like this for almost a week now, and so I think there might actually be something wrong. But yeah, so if you guys are watching this on YouTube, you'll see the B-roll over when it's happening. But man, that hurt so bad. So it was incredibly bad.
Let's talk about that for a second, right? Because this happens to everybody in jiu-jitsu. They're going to get injured in class at some point. Mm-hmm. So what are you going to do? Because sometimes you go anyway because you don't want to miss any classes. But then you take time off. Like, I don't even know how long I've been in and out, in the last year.
Yeah.
Like, what are you going to do, right? Like, are you going to miss it? Or some people are like, no, I'm going to go and just sit and watch from the sidelines and pick up what I can. And I know that sounds great, but you're also like, man, well, I'm injured. I might as well use these 2 hours that I'm free now that are normally occupied to knock out other stuff that I need to do. So
Yeah.
what do you think?
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and still go to class. I don't have any loss of mobility. I can still pull. I lifted weights on Friday. Yeah, I went to the gym on Friday, and nothing really seemed to be bothering my chest. Besides, like I said, I was like in a plank, and I was supposed to do banded plank rows to where I'm in a plank and then I have like a band and I pull the band. I could barely lift my arm off the ground in that plank. It was, on a scale of 1 to 10, it was like a 9.5 in pain. And I was like, all right, looks like I'm done for the day. But I'm still going to go. I'm going to just, try not to roll with anyone that's going to want to go too crazy and just, try to baby it for a little bit. And if it still bothers me in a couple of days, I think I might actually go see like a chiro or like a PT or try to get to maybe someone at home, if you guys are listening to this and you can give me a clue on what it is and how I can fix it.
A GoFundMe and you can get that stem cell.
Bro.
You know what I mean?
That'd be legit.
Go fund us for stem cell.
Yeah, maybe I'll hit up Dr. Neil Morris.
Yeah, right? You're like, hey, shoot this thing up, man. Like, let's get it going.
Yeah, so that's where I'm at now. I don't want to miss any classes because I don't know. It's like I don't feel like it's a non-training injury. I feel like it's just me.
But you haven't trained since the injury, jiu-jitsu, right? Or have you?
No, I haven't. That's not because of the injury, though. That's just because of life.
So then you really won't know if that'll impact you or not until you go do it.
I don't know, because I rolled 3 or 4 times after it happened, and it was fine. And like I said, I worked out on Friday, and whatnot. It's only like certain things that are bothering me
Like
with it right
like
now.
shoveling to help your wife
Yeah,
plant in the garden.
legit, you know,
Interesting.
very convenient.
I'm
that
confused. He's like, do you hear me? He's lifted weights, he's doing all this,
Dude,
but he couldn't work a shovel.
that's what I'm saying. Like it's like that's what's weird about it is I'm like it's no loss of mobility. Like if you guys are watching, I can hold my hand above my head, no pain. You know what I mean? I can backhand John and no pain.
No pain.
On me, maybe him, but like that's what's weird about this is like it's only in very limited situations and movements is where it bothers me. So like I was doing seated box jumps, and me throwing my arm like this doesn't hurt, but like using it to generate power hurt.
I get you.
And I was like, man, this is weird. So
just nurse it.
yeah, it's like the first major injury that I've had in jiu-jitsu. So I'm like, please don't last forever. So
Which side is it, left or right?
my right side.
So just use the left the whole time in class.
Yeah, my non-jiu-jitsu side, that's going to work out real great.
Yeah.
So
Just make sure coach ain't watching.
yeah, so when you coming back, your legs are looking better, still a little red, but
Yeah, I mean, Travis we were just looking at it. You can still see it on the leg, right?
Yeah.
You know, I went through 2 weeks of medicine, and you can't drink alcohol in that medicine. So that was like, that might be the first time in a long time I went 2 weeks with no wine, no beer, no nothing. Which the first night I had wine after the 2 weeks, I had like crazy headache the next day. I was like, man, I felt great the 2 weeks of none. So
Yeah.
it's just something to keep in mind. But I mean, I plan on going back tomorrow. Not tomorrow, Tuesday. You know, I have another doctor's appointment on the 4th. At this point, I don't know. Maybe it's just scarred. I don't know.
yeah, it just looks like it just looks like red dry skin on his leg.
I mean, the
right
hair
now.
grew back, so I'm assuming it's good.
Yeah. Has it been bothering you in at all, or
Not
is
the
it
last
like
couple
itch
days.
or anything like that?
Not the last couple of days.
That's good. So hopefully it's done healing. And you could just freaking as long as you don't blow your back out doing yard work,
Right. Yeah.
building a doghouse. John doesn't know how to read a tape measure.
I do not.
No
I do
joke.
not.
But John just built a beautiful doghouse in his backyard, so he's very resourceful. So,
You got to learn to eye everything if you don't know how to work a tape measure.
yeah, right. So some of the things I also want to talk to you guys about today, if you're listening at home or watching on YouTube, then you would be hearing this. Stupid me. Anyways, so you know, just a little bit of updates about the podcast. Right now, to be honest with you guys, we're still growing, you know, quite a bit month over month, or not month over month. We've kind of like plateaued on our monthly downloads recently. But like our Instagram and our social media have really been taken off and whatnot. And it's been really cool to see. We picked up another sponsor. If you guys haven't noticed, the Mummy Sleep Pillows, which are great pillows. We could kind of segue into an ad for them real quick. I've been using mine. I mean, we've had them for like 2 months now.
Yep.
And I use mine every night when I go to sleep. It's super comfortable. The beautiful thing about it is it doesn't like have my neck, you know, crink, you know what I mean? So where I wake up in the morning and my neck is sore. I absolutely love that about it. I love how soft it is. I love how breathable it is. You know, sleep is, like we always say, like sleep is one of the most important parts of your recovery. And with my Mummy pillow, it's been great. It's been much easier to fall. It's actually weird. It has been easier to fall asleep with this thing. So, and then, you know, I lay on it and I have they have the 6 chambers and I just like pick my head on one of the chambers and just lay on top of it.
Yeah, it's nice. You don't need to fold it up or anything like that.
Yeah.
Everybody knows what it's like when they go to bed and your favorite pillow was stolen by the spouse and you're like, hey, where's my pillow? Give me my pillow. You'll take that shit back. I got to use the pillow for a good solid month, and now my wife stole it. And,
Yeah.
it's her favorite pillow, so I can definitely attest that it's a good pillow.
Yeah, my wife has been asking me to steal it from me, and I'm like, look, I'll see if I can't get you another one. So if you guys are interested in Mummy Pillows, who's now one of the sponsors of the podcast, you can use code ElbowsTight at checkout for 15% off and free shipping. It's over at mvmisleep.com and use code ElbowsTight at checkout and you get 15% off and free shipping. I honestly can't recommend them. John and I, to kind of stay on the sponsor stuff, but not an ad. John and I only like to pick sponsors for the podcast that we actually believe in and use and enjoy. And we try to make sure that you guys get value out of who is sponsoring the podcast too. John and I have turned down multiple sponsorships because we just felt like it wasn't a good fit for the podcast, or they couldn't provide enough value to you guys, not necessarily to us, because I mean, obviously, if we're getting sponsored by someone, there's perks for us, but we felt like we always want to give back to you guys, because obviously if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be here. So
Yeah, and I mean, think about the things we've sponsored so far, right? It's things that we use, so we think our audience would use it. Like, we all care about sleep, right? The Manscaped stuff, like, I mean, everybody that goes to the gym is like, dude, I wish that guy was fucking Manscaped. That shit. You know what I mean? The pre-workouts and stuff like that, a lot of people use that in the gym. Everybody likes that kick right before class. So we've tried to pick things that everyone would use, or that we would use, that we think everyone would use.
Yeah, and this kind of goes to the topic of, if we think it would fit you guys, if you guys don't take advantage of it, then obviously you guys have spoken, and there's no reason to keep a sponsor. So Amino Co, we did a 6-month with them, and unfortunately we came to terms that we split ways with that sponsorship, because you guys at home, it didn't connect with you. We thought it'd be a great product. John and I absolutely loved it, but it was more of a premium product, and you guys at home, you spoke, and it didn't connect, so we ended up dropping partnership with them. But it was a great experience being with them. I have a crap ton of their stuff left, and I still use it. Like, I honestly, truly do believe in the product, but it doesn't matter if John and I believe in the product if you guys at home don't take advantage of it too. So there's no reason for us to keep them on board if it's not a mutual thing between the whole community.
Yeah, it'd be interesting if we could poll the audience on what they think would be a good sponsor, right?
Ooh, that's a good, yeah. How about you guys do this? Let's DM us if you guys can think of a good sponsor, or know someone that wants to sponsor the podcast. We're always open to sponsorships, and then we can talk business with them. And it's unfortunately, I feel like sponsorships are like a double-edged sword, I guess you would say. Like, they're great because they help us grow as a podcast, and I've hired an editor to take care of some of this stuff, and hopefully at one day I can hire him to just do everything for us, and we can just sit here and record and pass it off. But
sponsors are necessary for podcasts, right? Like, it's not like we're sitting over here, fat cats getting rich, right?
Yeah.
That's not the way it works. It helps with, like he said, getting an editor and paying for all the hosting services and things of that nature.
Yeah. Right now, any money we make, John and I don't pocket. Everything goes back into the podcast to help us grow and to help us produce better content for you guys. As much as I would love to have this as a full-time job, it's quite a ways away before that. But you have to spend money to make money, and you need to reinvest in your business in order for it to grow. If John and I pocketed everything, then the podcast would never grow, and we'd just be making money and not taking advantage of it for the podcast. So but yeah, so if you guys have any ideas of someone that you would like to sponsor us, let us know in the DMs. We're always willing to talk to people. I would really like a geek company. That'd be legit.
Breaking news. Manscaped now sells beard products. That's right. They are once again revolutionizing men's grooming with the brand new Beard Hedger Pro Kit. From a beard trim to a fresh shave, the technology behind the Beard Hedger Pro Kit allows you to shape your signature beard look. Now you can finally use Manscaped products to make sure your drapes match your carpet by going to manscaped.com and using the code ETP20 for 20% off and free shipping. Again, that's ETP20 for 20% off and free shipping.
It's time to tame your mane. No one likes a weird beard, so say goodbye to the stubble trouble with Manscaped's Pro Beard Kit. My wife hates when I have stubble. She's like, don't even kiss me. Trim that mustache. And thanks Manscaped for making it possible now.
It all starts with the Beard Hedger. This thing is a juggernaut for fixing faces. First off, the cordless trimmer has a rotary wheel that gives you 20 haircutting lengths, all with one guard, so no more messy drawers full of extras and add-ons. That's right. Face grooming doesn't need to be hard. Get 20 different beard lengths and just one guard.
The Pro Beard Kit also comes with 3 free gifts: a beard brush, comb, and scissors to ensure your beard is ready to impress.
So get 20% off and free shipping with the code ETP20 at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Use the code ETP20. Manscaped Beard Hedger, one stroke, one guard, 20 lengths.
Thanks, Manscaped, for sponsoring this episode.
Yeah, man, I'm like, I don't know. I think I'm all about like the finger tape now. You know what I mean? Like, I'm wrapping up my toes now, like all of it.
Well, the guys, you guys, after this, we're talking to the Limitless Radio Cast guys, Chad and Terry, and they are the owners of Limitless Tape also. The stuff I just gave you.
I know. I haven't used it yet.
Okay. So, I mean, we could talk to them.
What am I gonna? I can't tape up my ringworm right now. You know what I'm saying? So I've had to wait, and now I'm gonna be all winded when I finally go back to class again because I've been off for weeks.
Yeah.
It's gonna suck.
I mean, you could tape your ringworm, man. Just like you could be like one of those guys
that doesn't tell anyone in the gym.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody gave me this shit in the gym.
Yeah, there you go. That'd be pretty funny. John comes in. They're like, "Hey, how's the ringworm?" "Oh, it's fine. I just taped it up. And we're good to go."
Yeah.
But
it's good. What was everybody saying at our chat? Said put some lemon oil on it. It'll go away. Bullshit. It didn't go away.
Yeah. John's ringworm is a feisty one. So, but yeah, and something else that I kind of wanted to talk about too was, I would really like for our community. This may sound stupid to some of you. I would really like our community to have a name, like something that when we talk about you guys, instead of saying, the community, we could be, like Justin Bieber has the Beliebers. I'm not saying you guys are Justin Bieber fans, but I don't know. I would really like to have a name for the community so we all can, like if I started a Facebook group, we can name the Facebook group that instead of the Elbows Tight group. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I could see that.
That's kind of what I'm saying. So what John and I want to offer is if you guys can come up with a name for the community that we pick, we'll interview you on the show. Doesn't matter how long you've been doing jiu-jitsu or anything. We want to hear your story. We'll bring you on the show. We'll do an interview with you. And I think it'd be a great opportunity to have someone from the community come on the show and, tell their story and how jiu-jitsu has impacted their life. So what I want you guys to do is I want you to DM our Instagram and let us know what your idea for the community name would be, and if we like it, like I said, we'll pick it up and we'll make a Facebook group, and you can come on the show and we'll interview you, tell your story, and have a good time with that. What do you think about that, John?
I think it's got to be a good name.
It's got to be a good name. John is such a boomer.
Man,
I talked about this beforehand, and he's like, "Oh my God, why would we do
what
that?"
What are you talking about? What is this shit? Like groupies?
I was like, "No, they're like Swifties." Like.
Well, just remember when the gym changed names?
Yeah,
and all of us hated the new name. And it took us a year to come to terms with it, and I don't even like telling people the name of it when they ask me. I just tell them where we're located, not the name of the school.
Yeah, there was a lot of so we go to Virtuous Fitness or for Virtuous Grappling. It's hard to say sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, people were giving it nicknames of other words that start with a V.
Yeah.
Not family-friendly words.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Not victorious grappling.
Victim grappling.
Yeah. Shit, I feel like a victim sometimes, dude.
I'm going to feel like one next week.
Yeah. So, hey, and then also, I wanted to kind of talk about, over on our YouTube page, if you guys don't follow us on YouTube, I don't know why you don't. And you should probably go do that right now. YouTube.com/@elbowstight, the little @ sign. But I like posting like surveys and questions for you guys over there to kind of pick your brain on who you are as a grappler, what you guys prefer, and all that stuff. And I would like to go over some of the answers that we've gotten because they were pretty interesting. The first one I asked, what do you prefer, gi or no gi? 53% people said gi, while 47% said no gi. So a majority of you guys like gi, and I prefer gi. What about you, John?
I mean, I'll be honest. I'm more comfortable in no gi only because I feel like I'm not. It's almost like less claustrophobic, if that makes sense. My problem though is I have shit submissions in no gi, like maybe one or two tops. I just without having those grips and I'm like. It's just difficult. Like I've trained so much in the gi, I don't have shit for submissions, no gi.
Yeah.
But I also I never feel pressure in no gi like I do when I'm in gi.
What do you mean by that?
I mean when someone's got mount or whatever, I'm not as hot and suffocated, and I don't feel as claustrophobic when it's no gi. I don't
Yeah.
know. It's just the way it is.
Yeah. When
I can
rolled
get out
with,
of anything in no-gi.
when I rolled with Cody the other day, he got me in a head and arm choke, and he didn't. It wasn't the choke that I tapped to. It was his gi started suffocating me. Like
Yeah.
it was in my like I was trying to breathe because like his shoulder was like at or above my nose, and then all of a sudden he like readjusted. I was like, oh no, I'm still good. I got plenty of space in here, and his gi started like ball gagging me. It's like,
I mean, I've almost had like panic attacks sometimes in the gi when someone's just
Yeah.
crushing me and I'm getting hot and I'm like, holy shit.
Dude, I remember when we first started, that was like, I am claustrophobic, and I think jiu-jitsu's really helped with my claustrophobia because I have to face it head on so much. Like, I still have my little bit of like panic attacks here and there, and like my anxiety will kick in certain situations. But the thing that triggers it the most is like the heat. Like
Yeah,
if I'm
that's
hot,
what I'm saying, yeah.
Like if I'm hot, my claustrophobia,
Same.
it ramps up.
That's what I mean. Where I'm like, I'm hot and in my head. I'm like, I can't. It's not a submission. It's nothing. It's just I'm hot and I feel like I'm constricted, and it's almost enough to make me want to lose my mind.
Yeah, and I'm right there with you. And I think when you first start jujitsu, that everyone gets a little bit claustrophobic because of the feeling of restriction and heat, and then all the pressure. And I think over time, it's like I mentioned, it just has really developed me as a person to overcome that fear. But there are times still, even in jiu-jitsu, where I'm like, holy shit, this is like a little bit too much for me right now, man. But
Absolutely.
But it's like Mike says, it's like it's kind of like exposure therapy. The more you expose yourself to it, the more you get used to it. One thing I'll never get used to though is oil checking. Like it's still awkward to me. But
I don't know about the exposure, but what it does tell me is if I see it coming, I'm like, nope. I'll fight tooth and nail to make sure I'm not in that position.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. What's funny is one of our listeners DM'd us on Instagram. I'm gonna have to find the name and give him a shout out real quick for answering this or asking me this question. But they basically asked how, as a smaller practitioner, could they overcome being the smaller person, I guess you could say, because they said about 20 pounds lighter than everyone in the class, and they're like, how do I overcome the size difference? My technique's getting there. I'm doing better, but at the end of the day, it's still hard. For Austin, if you're listening to this, Austin, I'm answering your question online too. But I was like, look, if you're a smaller person or the smallest person in class, you need to use your size to your advantage, just like big guys do. If you're a smaller person and you're rolling with someone bigger than you, then you need to be faster. You need to be a little bit more athletic. You need to not be put in these positions, which I know when you first start is easier said than done. But you really need to fight to not let these people get these, these advantageous positions for them on you. Like, I know if I'm rolling with someone that's bigger and stronger than me, I am fighting for my life to stay on top in every situation. Like, I am like framing, I'm putting knee shields in, I'm fighting as much as I can. The only person that it doesn't work on is Cody.
I asked Cody what gives him the most trouble.
Smaller people?
I've always used, I asked him, like, what does he find the most difficult when he's rolling with someone smaller? And he said it's when they suck up the space. So that's what I do. When I roll with him or anyone big like that, I try to hold them tight. I'm on them like a jacket. Like, I'm trying to suck up all the space so they can't use their long limbs or any of that stuff. That's worked out well for me.
Yeah.
Basically, and you're right with the knee shields, man. I'd throw those, you just dig that in and you grab them and you put a lot of pressure there. And just hold them, like try to suck up that space.
Yeah, I in the roll with Cody, I had a little bit more success in passing his guard because I found that doing a closing the space with like an over-under pass really was very helpful for me to help pass his guard. I actually passed his guard halfway. I got past his legs, but then Cody's arms are like 14 feet long, so he just framed on me and regarded, and that's actually my fault because I should have sucked up the space. Once I passed his legs, I should have sucked up the space. But if you're a smaller practitioner,
learn wrist locks.
Wrist locks are great, but you got to use your size to your advantage. If you're smaller than someone, you're probably going to be faster than them. And then you just got to make sure that you're on the attack, because someone can't attack you if you're always attacking. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So you got anything else to say about that, John?
No, I don't.
Okay. Another question that I asked is like, what are you struggling the most with right now on YouTube? And the answer that we got was getting to class.
Ooh. That's what I was going to say. I thought you were asking me that.
Brother.
Consistency.
Yeah. And I think consistency looks different for a lot of people. And I think when people hear of consistency, I think a lot of people think of, I need to show up as much as possible, as often as possible, which I don't agree with. I think as long as you're consistently showing up, whether it's 1, 2, 3 times a week, doing that every week for a long period of time is better than you being consistent for 6, 7 weeks, taking 2, 3 weeks off, and then coming back, training. Like it's like Thomas Brzezinski said in our first interview. Who do you think is gonna make better strides? Someone that if they both have the same amount of classes at the end of the year, but someone showed up for 2 months and trained 5 days a week, and someone did 2 days a week the entire year. You know what I mean? Like the person that's consistently showing up is going to be the one that grows the most.
Consistence 2 times a week.
Same.
Yeah, that's it. If I can't be that, then I'm just not consistent.
Yeah. Are you going to try to do that again when you get back?
Mm-hmm. Like I said, it's tough. I'm finally coming to the realization. Like now, I'm at the point where, when people are like, "Hey, I'm older and shit don't work the same." Like now, I feel that way now. Like recovery is different. Losing weight's different. Everything's different now, even compared to a year ago. Like everything's just worse. So,
yeah.
Whatever. We'll see. I'm gonna do the 2, but I'm trying to get one of our buddies, Mike, to come back. That would be great. Mike comes back to class, and I got a partner. You know what I mean? No, bro. I want a partner that's older than me or same age. I'm tired of your young ass.
What are you talking about?
I want
bro?
the older
Bro,
cats.
you give me a run for my money.
Get the hell out. He's so full of shit.
I'm not full of shit. Jonathan's hard to roll with. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't let you submit him. He's
That's not good. That just means great defense means I ain't doing shit on offense is what it means. That's why he's laughing at me.
Yeah.
Everybody that's listening to this knows it sucks to defend for 5 minutes. It's much better to attack.
And at this moment, if you're watching on YouTube, I'm probably putting John rolling with other blue belt John over this right now, where our John was defending for 5 minutes straight. And then afterwards, he came up to me, "Why are you going to record that? Why didn't you tell me you were going to record that?"
I still think you need to put some of our first recordings on there for people to watch.
You know what?
I have them.
I believe I do too. I have them on one of my YouTube pages.
Yeah,
from Japan.
If you guys want to see it, we're like white belts and we're rolling for hours, but we got some footage of it.
Yeah, I'll put those over on our YouTube page, and I also have a rolling commentary from when we were out there. I did one on one of my gaming channels when I was a Twitch streamer. I did a rolling commentary when I was in Japan, and I'll probably actually put that over on our page, to tell you the truth. And I was a 4-stripe white belt. I rolled with a purple belt, a wrestler, and stuff like that, and it was a really good one. So,
well, just for the audience, that was the first time I saw myself on video, and it was these videos. And I watched them, and I was like, well, shit, I'm not even moving. So it really helped me out watching those specific videos.
Yeah. We always talk, John and I have been saying the same thing since day one. We started the podcast after we came back from Japan, and we filmed ourselves in Japan. And I'm telling you guys, if you do not film your rolls and you're a white belt, you 100% should. Mm-hmm. You should film your class. You should film your rolls. You should film yourself doing the techniques, because I still review my own rolling and my own techniques. And when I'm able to film, I don't film as much as I should anymore, but that's a whole different story. But it is I'm telling you, it is a big game changer. You get to realize, just like John said, are you moving when you think you are? Are you fighting when you think you are? Are you defending something like you think you are? You know what I mean? Like when I was rolling with Cody, I watched it and me defending the head and arm choke, I looked like an idiot. I'm like, why am I even doing that?
Yeah, time's different too, because in my head I thought I was only in that position for seconds, and then I'm watching it on video and it's more like 30 seconds. And I'm like, Jesus, move.
Yeah, it's a great thing to do too. Another question that I asked over on our YouTube community page is, what do you think is a better submission in jiu-jitsu? This one surprised me quite a bit. John, you want to read the results on that?
It looks like we got chokes 93% and joint locks 7%.
So almost everyone thinks chokes are better than joint locks. What do you think?
I think joint locks are quicker. But I like chokes too. I don't know. That's tough.
I prefer joint locks.
They seem faster, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
You can kind of fight off a choke, but those joint locks are immediate. Like
I'm gonna have to disagree with you. I feel like
you can hold your breath on the choke, right?
I'm just gonna turn red until.
That's an inside joke because I thought that was the way you did that when we first started. I was like, what the fuck? I still had like a good 30 seconds so I could hold my breath. Why am I passing out?
Yeah, no. I prefer joint locks. I prefer Kimuras, arm bars, mounted arm bars, mounted triangle. Oh well, triangle is a choke. Let me know what you guys think at home. Why do you think it was 93% chokes? Why do you think they are a better submission if you do believe that? I believe joint locks are better submission because I don't know, I just prefer joint locks. I guess I don't really have a story for that.
I mean, a choke, you pass out. A joint lock, you're breaking something. So
Yeah.
For me, like I feel like the locks are better. I mean, like you have to respect it or something's breaking on you. If you don't respect the choke, yeah, you're gonna submit, but you're just passing out.
I like joint locks. I'll say this: I like joint locks because it neutralizes them. If you get a good joint lock in, it's really hard to defend because usually you're isolating both arms or both joints, right? If you're going for a knee bar, a lot of the times you want to hold on to that second leg so they can't like kick your leg away. So there's a really hard way to defend. If you're arm barring, like say from S mount, a lot of the times you'll hold on to both arms and then you'll like Sean taught for a while. You're in S mount and then you lock up both arms if you can, and then as you fall back, you let go of one arm or hit the double arm bar. But I don't know. I prefer joint locks. I was really surprised that it was 93% of people.
Yeah, that's really high.
Like I don't know. That's a little high for me, but it's. Let me know what you guys think at home. Why you think it is that way? You were gonna say something, John?
I'm just reading.
And then the final one that I did. This was a couple weeks ago, but I just thought it was super interesting. Where do most of you guys listen to our podcast? This was another surprising one.
I'm surprised it's not all Spotify.
Yeah, I thought Spotify was going to be our biggest one. Right now, it was over on our community page. Spotify, 29%.
Wow.
Apple Podcasts, 14%. Google Podcasts, 5%. YouTube, 48%.
Like, how do you listen to it on YouTube? I understand watching it on YouTube.
So, from what I understand, is a lot of people at home, what they'll do is they'll pull up our podcast on YouTube and have it playing in the background. Like at work, I'll have a podcast playing in the background while I'm doing stuff and whatnot. And it's nice too. I prefer YouTube as a podcast platform because I feel there's more of a connection with people because they can see you. And not only that, but I can have it continue to play in the background, and if I want to, if they're talking about something like I just mentioned the B-roll, then I can show the people what we're talking about on YouTube. So there's that whole nother element to doing it. So I can definitely see why.
I'm 100% music on Spotify, and I listen to podcasts 100% of the time on Apple.
Really? Mm-hmm. Oh, that's because you have an iPhone, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then someone said that they use Pocket Casts, which is an interesting thing too. I've never heard of Pocket Cast. I know there's like Overcast and other podcasting platforms out there specifically made for podcasting. If you guys use one of those, let us know and how you like it. Because if it's better than Spotify, then I would love to hear how. You know what I mean? Apple Podcasts I thought was actually going to be bigger than it was too, but that was pretty small. So
They're probably all Android users.
yeah, right. So just a recap what we were talking about today, guys. Remember, if you guys want to name the community so we could start a Facebook group and have everyone join, DM us on Instagram and let us know what you think the name of the community should be. And if we pick the name of your community suggestion, then we're going to bring you on the show. We'll interview for an hour. We'll make some social media posts about it, and we'll have the community tell or have you tell your story to the community and everything like that. And we would love to hear how jiu-jitsu has impacted your life. Sponsorships are for you. And what else did we talk about? Injuries.
Let us know what sponsors you might be interested in. You know, really, we care about what the community's interested in. You know, and it's probably the same things that we and you are interested in. So let us know, and maybe we can look for those.
Yeah, if you guys even have like a suggestion of a company, I'll do a cold call to them if we think it'd be a great fit because, you know, like John just said, sponsorships aren't only for us to grow as technically we're a business, right? It's not only for us to grow as a business, but we really do want to give you guys as much value out of this as we possibly can too. So let us know what you guys think. Also, if you guys want to support the podcast or the YouTube page, we have Elbows Tight swag. If you guys elbows tight, I just released our retro t-shirt. I'll throw up a picture right now of what it looks like. It looks pretty legit, right?
Yeah.
So if you guys want to buy a t-shirt or a coffee cup or a sticker or whatever, by all means go over to elbowstight.com and you can buy some Elbows Tight swag. Check out our sponsors down below, Manscaped and Mummy. And yeah, let us know what you guys think. Also, you guys can leave a comment below on Spotify if you listen on Spotify. So go ahead and leave a comment how you guys like the episode. And that's pretty much it, right?
That's it, man.
So thank you guys so much for listening to Watch at Home, and we'll catch you later. Peace.